Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mackenzie. If you haven't seen me before, I am a 400 meter hurdler at the University of Pittsburgh. I really don't want to be wearing sunglasses right now, but it is so bright. And if I turn it the other way, you're not gonna be able to see me. So this is what we're doing. Today's video is all about advice for people that are beginning hurdling. By no means am I a hurdle expert, but I have been doing hurdles for a long time, and obviously I do them in college. So if you are just starting, I think that I will have just some good general tips for you. So if you're interested in that, then keep on watching. So the first tip I have, if it's accessible to you, I would recommend starting off with foam hurdles. My coach had these, so I was able to use those when I was first starting, and sometimes every once in a while when I'm just working on something new, I will use the foam hurdles. So it's definitely something I recommend for beginners especially. The standard base is just like the girls 400 hurdle height, and then it comes with attachments that you can add on top for 100 hurdles, for guys hurdles, whatever. So that has been really helpful for me and the other hurdlers in my club. It's important because as a hurdler, you need to be fearless. You need to attack every hurdle to keep your momentum going and be competitive and aggressive. But this barrier at first can be very, very intimidating for a beginner that has never hurdled before. So I would definitely recommend soft, squishy foam hurdles. You hit it, it just falls, nothing happens, you're all good. Save you some bruises on your knees. So number two, one of the biggest ideas of hurdling is that you want to be in the air for the least amount of time as possible. A big idea behind the hurdle race is you might not be as fast, like 100 meter fast as the person next to you, but if you're quicker over the top, you've got them beat in the 100 hurdles, and that will translate into your 400 hurdles, 300 hurdles as well. It's definitely easier said than done. It's something that you have to perfect over time. You have to think about hurdling as running through the hurdle and not jumping over the hurdle. Jumping over the hurdle means more time in the air, and that's not what you want. If you're in a race and you and your competitor are head to head, equal speed, and then you come up to a hurdle and you hop over it, but they run through it and they're really quick over the top, they're gonna beat you in the race. Just think about getting your lead leg and trail leg down as fast as you can, because the quicker you are over the hurdle, the faster you're gonna be overall. For anybody that isn't aware of the general technicality of hurdling, lead leg would be your takeoff leg. When you see hurdlers like this, that would be the lead leg, and the trail leg is the one that follows. This all kind of goes hand in hand, but an important thing when hurdling is to not have too close of an approach. If you take off too close to the hurdle, you have no other choice but to go up. If you have a further away approach, you can keep that horizontal attack, but if you are right up against the hurdle, there's no horizontal momentum, you have to go straight up. And as we talked about, that kills your momentum, makes you slower than everyone else, and that's not what you want. So the key is a comfortable spot to take away from that isn't too far to the point where you're reaching, overstriding, but not too close to the point where you are going sky high in the air, hurtling over the guy's height for no reason. Next, I really recommend, especially if you're looking to get into 300 hurdles, 400 hurdles, that you learn both lead legs at the same time. So what I mean by that is, for one person, it might be natural instinct to go over the hurdle right lead leg. The issue with that becomes when you go into the 300 hurdles, if you come up on a hurdle and it's timed right to be left lead leg takeoff, you're gonna stutter or you're gonna go really high. Either way, momentum is gonna be delayed and you're killing your speed. So something my coach was really, really good about, keeping in mind that I was going to be a long hurdler. When I was learning in the very beginning, I learned right lead leg and left lead leg. So now as a long hurdler, I am comfortable with both. I would say I'm more dominant in my right lead leg if I were to do 100 hurdles, but there is no issue if I come up to a hurdle with my left lead leg, which gives me a strong advantage over people that are running the 400 hurdles that aren't as comfortable with both legs. So keep that in mind when you're first learning. Moving on to the upper part of your body, it is important to be conscious of what your arms are doing, because running is not just a legs motion, it's a whole body thing. A very common thing when people first start hurdling, and it is very wrong. Very wrong, very bad, kills your momentum, not good in so many ways. But it's hard to learn at first, so if that's you, it's okay. When you're hurdling, you want to keep your arms tight. You don't want to let loose, because when you're running, you don't run with your arms like this, and that's the same idea when you're hurdling. Hurdling is running, not jumping. So you want to keep your arms bent with you, moving, so they're helping you, not hurting you. You have your arm that's on your trail leg side, and that goes into the hurdle with your lead leg, and then when your trail leg comes behind, It's a stirring motion. That's what they teach you at first, is just whipping it around that leg as it comes forward. So then you come off the hurdle in this motion, ready to run, not having to get your form back. You are ready to go. That's the idea. One of the most important things about running in general, not just hurdling, is dorsiflexion. So there's dorsiflexion and there's plantar flexion. My coach heavily focused on this with us. I also learned about it in anatomy. So it's just something to know in general in life. Dorsiflexion, your foot is like this. Plantar is like that. Dorsiflexion helps you pull the track and keep momentum. Plantar flexion kills your momentum and gives you shin splints, and no one wants that. So it's important to also be conscious of that when going over the hurdle. You don't want to be plantar on your lead leg or on your trail leg. Try and keep dorsiflexion while running, while hurdling, period. Something that a lot of hurdlers struggle with, and just about nobody has perfect, is your trail leg. The trail leg is the leader of the hurdle motion. It dictates what your lead leg does. It sets up the race for you. When you use your trail leg, you want to keep your foot below your knee to keep a comfortable angle going up over the hurdle. If your foot goes above your knee, one, it'll give you hip problems, I can attest. Two, it's gonna make you come off the hurdle slower and uncomfortable. If you come off the hurdle and this is your trail leg instead of this, that means when you come around, you have to correct it. And that means more time in the air, more time over the hurdle, slower time overall. Like I said, it's something that a lot of hurdlers struggle with, even the pros, but it's just something to keep in mind so that as you get better at that, you'll get better at hurdling in general. And if you have that position with your foot above your knee is more likely to hit the hurdle, which means lots of bruises on your knees. So you kind of learn the hard way that you want to correct that trail leg, but it's part of the learning process. Next, it is very, very important to focus on drills when you're first learning for hurdling. You don't just want to keep showing up to practice and just keep going over a hurdle a million times, not focusing on anything, not correcting anything. It's not productive. It's gonna end up hurting you because you are repetitively doing the wrong motion if you haven't done technical drills. And that will be bad muscle memory that you don't want. So as a hurdler, it's important to not only do hurdle drills when you're first starting out, but consistently throughout your entire career. Before every hurdle practice, before every meet, I do hurdle drills. It's important to remind yourself of that muscle memory going into a race, going into practice, so that you aren't doing the wrong mechanics. So I'm just gonna show you a couple hurdle drills that I think are important key ones to focus on. So when you're doing these hurdle drills, it's important to focus on not doing it fast, doing it correctly. If you do it fast, but you're doing it wrong, you're not getting anything out of it. There's no shame in taking it slow first, because it doesn't matter how fast you do it now, it matters how fast you do it in a race. So take everything one by one, slowly get yourself acquainted with the hurdles, do drills slow at first until you're comfortable with it to slowly start moving faster. And my last tip is that falling is part of the learning process and it's part of the life of a hurdler. You can ask just about any hurdler, college, professional, they've all fallen at one point in time, whether that's in a race or in practice. Everyone's taken a fall. I had a few hard ones that hurt quite a bit, but part of being a track athlete is getting back up after you've been knocked down, and that's a big lesson that you learn in hurdles. So welcome to the life of a hurdler. You got this. If you have any questions, let me know, any follow-ups. If you want a part 2, let me know. I wish you guys the best of luck as you are learning to hurdle, and I hope you learned a thing or two that you'll find helpful going into your training. Follow my Instagram and TikTok if you want to just see more content surrounding track and hurdles, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.